Everyone wants passive income. Almost no one tells you the truth about it. Here it is. Passive income is not a money machine. It's a delay machine. And the delay is where most people quietly fail. Because the version you see online looks effortless. Rent checks, dividends, digital products selling while someone sleeps. Money moving without effort. But what you're actually watching is the end of a process, not the process itself. And that distinction matters more right now than it ever has. Because we're living in a decade where wages feel stuck, prices feel aggressive, and the promise of extra income has turned into a cultural obsession. Side hustles became mainstream. Then passive income became the upgrade. Same dream. Less work. Or so it seems. But before we talk about why passive income is misunderstood, we need to talk about why it's so seductive. Passive income promises freedom without confrontation. No boss. No meetings. No asking for a raise. It doesn't challenge your identity. It doesn't force you to admit you picked the wrong career or stayed too long in the wrong system. It whispers something much more comfortable. Just build this one thing and you're set. That whisper is powerful and expensive. So let's slow this down and strip the fantasy away. Because passive income does exist, but not in the way it's sold. Every passive income stream follows the same three-phase timeline. Phase 1 is invisible. Phase 2 is painful. Phase 3 is what gets posted on social media. Most people only see Phase 3. Let's start at the beginning. Phase 1 is capital concentration. Not money, time, skill, attention, or leverage. Sometimes all four. Rental income doesn't begin with rent. It begins with savings discipline, credit approval, risk tolerance, and maintenance headaches. Dividend income doesn't begin with quarterly payouts. It begins with years of capital accumulation and the emotional discipline to not touch it. Digital products don't begin with sales while you sleep. They begin with unpaid creation, failed launches, and learning curves no one films. In this phase, income is zero. Effort is high. Confidence slowly leaks. This is where the word passive is already misleading. Because nothing here is passive. It's front-loaded work disguised as future ease. Phase 2 is the grind nobody wrote. This is where the system technically exists, but doesn't reward you yet. The rental property has tenants and problems. The dividend portfolio pays, but not enough to matter. The online asset earns, but not enough to justify the time. This is the most dangerous phase, because the math starts to look uncomfortable. Let's say you want $3,000 a month in passive income. At a generous 4% annual yield, you need roughly $900,000 invested. Not saved, not earned, already invested. That number alone ends the fantasy for most people. So they pivot. They chase higher yields. Riskier assets, leverage, and this is where incentives quietly turn against them. Because passive income rewards patience, but punishes desperation. The more urgently you need it, the more likely you are to destroy it. High-yield dividend traps, over-leveraged real estate, automated businesses that require constant babysitting. The system doesn't collapse loudly. Passive income feels like protection. But here's the system-level reality. Passive income doesn't eliminate risk, it relocates it. Job income concentrates risk in your employer. Passive income concentrates risk in capital markets or platforms. Real estate ties you to interest rates and local economics. Dividends tie you to corporate profits and policy. Online income ties you to algorithms you don't control. The risk didn't disappear. It changed shape. And because the work is delayed, the feedback is delayed too. When a job is unstable, you usually know quickly. When a passive asset is unstable, the damage often shows up late and all at once. That's why experienced investors sound boring. They talk about downside, maintenance, volatility, not freedom. Which brings us to the part no one likes hearing. Most people don't need passive income first. They need active income leverage. higher skills, negotiation, power, ownership inside their current work. Because active income compounds faster in the early years, passive income compounds better later. Skipping that order is like trying to live off interest before you've built the principal. The math doesn't care how inspiring the YouTube thumbnail was, and yet, passive income isn't a lie. It's just mistimed. When it works quietly. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't promise escape. It slowly reduces dependence. One bill covered, then two, then time. Not freedom overnight, but pressure reduction over years. That's the version no one sells, because it doesn't go viral. But it's the version that actually survives. So here is the real question you should be asking, not how do I build passive income, but this, what am I willing to build before it becomes passive? Because the truth is simple and slightly uncomfortable. Passive income is boring, delayed, math-driven, and unforgiving, which is exactly why it works. And if that version doesn't sound exciting, that might be the most honest signal you've received so far. Because real wealth doesn't announce itself. It doesn't chase attention. It just quietly reduces how often money gets to control your decisions. The only question left isn't whether passive income is real. It's whether you're chasing the image of it, or whether you're willing to live through the timeline it actually requires. And most people already know the answer long before the numbers ever show up.